What's up, my viewers and subscribers? Welcome back to another update. Today, we are focusing on a heated situation involving J Progress and LANDO Mechanic after a disagreement over Vybz Kartel massacre and the Gaza fanbase escalated into something very serious. This is bigger than music now, because when online argument turn into threats against another person live, the conversation changes completely. So let's break down what happened, why J Progress responded, and what this says about the current state of dancehall fan culture. Now, my people, let's get straight into the issue. Dancehall has always been a competitive culture. Artists clash, selectors argue, producer disagree, fans choose their favorite artists, and bloggers and commentators like J Progress naturally become part of those conversations because they are discussing what's happening in the music. But there is a major difference between music debates and personal threats, and that distinction became very important when London Mechanic reportedly turned his attention towards J Progress. From the discussion and the disagreement appeared to have developed because of J Progress changing commentary surrounding Vybz Kartel and Massacre. J Progress had previously created content supportive of the Gaza movement and Vybz Kartel, but as time went on, his commentary became more favorable towards Massacre and more critical of some of the argument being made by Vybz Kartel supporters. And apparently that change did not sit well with everyone. Now, viewers, let me make something very clear. A commentary changing his opinion does not automatically make him a traitor. People change opinions, people discover new information, people can support one artist today and another artist tomorrow, and somebody can appreciate Vybz Kartel music while also acknowledging Massacre achievement. Those things can exist at the same time. But London Mechanic took the disagreement much further than simple saying, I disagree with J Progress. The language reported moved into threat of physical violence. And that is where we have to pause, because once somebody starts talking about BEATING another person, seriously injuring them or potentially causing their death, we're no longer dealing with ordinary dancehall banter. That's a serious situation. My people, I want everybody listening to understand something. You can be Gaza, you can be Gully, you can be Vendetta, you can support Massacre, you can support Cartel, you can support Alkaline, you can support Mavado, you can support whoever you want to, but none of those affiliations should become an excuse for violence, because at the end of the day, these artists are entertainers, and some of them are even friends behind the scene. The music is supposed to entertain us, the debate are supposed to create conversation, the clashes are supposed to be lyrical, but when a fan starts threatening another fan, blogger, selector, or commenter like an enemy who deserves physical harm because of an opinion about music, that is where things have gone completely off track. And I think that's one of the biggest issues facing dancehall discussion right now. People are becoming so emotionally invested in their favorite artist that criticism of the artist starts feeling like a personal attack. Somebody says something negative about Cartel, a fan feels attacked. Somebody praise Massacre, another fan feel betrayed. Somebody plays Alkaline song, another person start questioning their loyalty. But why? Why should playing a song determine whether somebody deserves respect? Why should a music opinion turn into a personal war? Now, let's talk about J Progress. J Progress is a commenter who discusses dancehall topic, artists, and the ongoing conversation surrounding the industry. That means he is going to have opinion. And here is something viewers need to understand about commentary channel. A commentary is not obligated to maintain the exact same opinion forever. If J Progress previously supported one person and later developed another position, that is his right. You can disagree With him, you can criticize his argument, you can challenge his facts, you can make another video explaining why you believe he is wrong. That is what public discussion is about. But disagreement should remain disagreement. You don't have to turn it into a hatred, and you certainly don't need to threaten somebody because they no longer say exactly what you want them to say. Now, Lando Mechanic went on social media and used extremely aggressive language towards J Progress. The comments reportedly include threat of serious physical violence. I am not going to repeat the graphic language word for word because there is absolutely no need to amplify threat like that. But the message was clear enough. The disagreement was no longer simple about whether J Progress supported Gaza or whether he supported massacre. It has crossed into personal territory, and that is concerning because once something like that gets posted publicly, you don't know who might take it seriously. You don't know who might feel encouraged by it, and you don't know how quickly online talk can become a real world confrontation. That's why people have to be careful with the things they say online, especially when you have an audience, especially when other people are listening, and especially when emotions surrounding dancehall are already extremely high. Now, J Progress did not simply sit back and ignore the controversy. He responded to London Mechanic, and his response was also filled with criticism. But one of the major points coming from J Progress was essentially that London Mechanic was putting on an aggressive image while operating around artists and people in the entertainment space. J Progress questioned the way Lando was behaving and criticized what he described as unnecessary tough talk. He also brought up the issue of security and the way people around artists operate. Now, regardless of which side you support, there is something important happening here. Both sides are cursing the other side of taking things too far, and that is exactly why fans need to step back. Because once everybody believes that the other side is a problem, nobody wants to take responsibility for their own words. At the center of the controversy is something that happened constantly in dancehall: fan loyalty. The original issue appeared to have been connected to J Progress changing position regarding Vybz Kartel and Massacre. That is it. That is what this whole thing is ultimately about. Music, opinion, art is fan base. Yet somehow the conversation reached a point where people were discussing violence. Think about that for a second. Someone support Massacre, someone else support Cartel. One person say one artist is doing well, another person say another artist is better, and suddenly people are talking as though there is a physical war happening. Come on, Jamaica, we have to do better than that. So viewers, that's where I am going to leave this one. The dancehall space is always going to have disagreements. We are always going to debate who is the best. We are always going to compare generations. We are always going to argue about Vybz Kartel, Massacre, Alkaline, Mavado, and the other major names in the culture. And honestly, that is part of the fun. But let's keep the competition where it belongs, in the music. So, my people, I want to hear from you. Do you think J Progress has the right to change his position on Vybz Kartel and Massacre? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this discussion, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next dancehall update. Big up the dancehall culture, and until next time, bless up.